Episode 137 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. I'm co host Junior, accompanied by co host Nick and producer Vince. Another week, another episode, boys. How we doing?
We are here after a beautiful birthday party that we went to
Yes, yes. My
Happy
son's
birthday.
birthday party. He is now 5 years old. Um,
already.
it's way too fast. Needs to slow down a bit, but he's growing before our eyes. Let's just put it that way. I fixed his hair and spiked it up today. I think that was the first time ever that I did that, and got some nice comments. So very happy for him. Very proud of him. He looked really excited today. It looked like it was a success. So
It was a very fun birthday. The kids had a great time.
Yes, they did. And the parents, we just drank.
Water.
well,
Yeah,
yeah. I brought something like 16 beers, I think. They were left with two at the end. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that
you know why?
some people had a good time. That's for sure.
Exactly. All right. So, do you guys want to just start with the Odd Man Rush right away since we still do not have music? But
Oh
before that,
yes. Sorry.
before that,
Before we,
Junior, go ahead, Nick.
I just want to say for those listening at home, we do apologize. Obviously, the last couple of episodes we have not had our usual equipment. The sound quality is not as strong as our normal podcast, so please stick with us for a little bit longer. We're hoping to get back some of the equipment, maybe from the insurance companies. Because if you didn't know the story, but Junior's basement and our podcast room basically flooded, so we needed to get some repairs or fixing some stuff. So please stick with us because I know this is not the best quality last week. I think we had some audio issues as well. Hopefully, it's going to be much better this week.
There's it should I should have news this week. So if they don't give it back to me, then the insurance will give me the money to get a new one or whatever. So we'll find out soon enough. And yeah, so hopefully by next episode we can have our soundboard back and then take it from there.
And if you guys want to find out, well, you can find out on our YouTube channel, our Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I mean, that partial break pod. We're all over the place. Our shorts on YouTube are doing well and generating a lot of interest from people. So join in the fun, and once again, register or subscribe. We're nine away from 200, which is, I mean, if we hit 200, Nick said he's gonna go streaking around this block. So I mean, who does, who
I'm
Nobody
gonna
wants to
doesn't
start
want
see
creating
that.
burner accounts just to subscribe to
to?
see that.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to see that, guys. Nobody wants to see that.
What do you mean? They
This
work out
this
now.
this dad bod. Believe me. Believe me.
All right, so let's get straight into the odd man rush. Basically, that is brought to you by Sportira. Um, I mean, any apparel you need, you know where to find them at Sportira.apparel. Sublimation, non-sublimation, caps, anything you need, just give them a call, and they will for sure give you the information you're looking for. So, our Ardman Rush, we take news and notes and trends of the NHL and turn them into 30-second takes, which usually lasts 3 minutes, 5 minutes with Nick and Junior, like always, since I'm hosting, so it'll be a little longer. Might have to bring in the bell a little earlier today. And like I said, this segment is sponsored by Sportira. So if you want to visit their website, it's www.sportira.com for all apparel and team uniforms needed. So I mean, the first thing we're going to talk about basically is the trade that just happened. A few hours ago.
Wait. Nobody's
It
going to sing the music.
On
oh.
man rush.
Yeah, I don't even. You know what? It's been so long we haven't played. I don't even remember the Odd Man Rush song.
I don't
That's how
remember.
bad it is.
I don't
Honestly,
remember the lyrics.
no,
All I remember
exactly.
is Odd Man Rush.
My God,
Just
we
play
need
the
our
chorus.
man. We need our equipment back. All right.
Odd Man
So
Rush.
Rasmus Andersson got traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. They were one of the four teams that was remaining in contention for them. So they basically moved Zach Whitecloud, their 2027 first round pick, a conditional 2027 second round pick, and the signing rights to University of North Dakota defender Abram Weeby. Their conditional 2027 second round pick. Basically, if they win the cup this year or next year, that changes into a first round pick of the year after. So, Nick, we'll start with you. What do you think of this trade? I mean, obviously Vegas got stronger on defense already, but what do you think about the return that Calgary got for a team that is rebuilding?
I mean, the return is everything you've ever wanted if you're Calgary Flames, right? Getting a first round pick and even a second. Forget if it turns into anything later on, but
Hmm.
this is a very good return for a player like Rasmus Anderson. Now, don't get me wrong. How is Vegas even doing this? Like, it's insane how they're always in on whatever big name is available. Kudos to them, and this is great insurance for them because I believe that you know they're already strong offensively with Shea Theodore. You know, Hannafin could play. He's more defensive maybe, or but he's a good puck mover as well. Now you add Rasmus Anderson to that, just puck moving all around. It's very strong for Vegas to do this, and I think this they were already cup contenders. I think this just helps them out even more.
Junior?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Nick said. The one thing I find puzzling is that Calgary owns Vegas's first round pick in 2026 from the trade of Hannafin last year.
Hmm.
So you're kind of making Vegas better, which makes your pick worse. But I guess the conditional pick is probably what did it for them, and the possibility of possibly having two first round picks. But you're looking at a pretty late first round pick now for Hannafin. But anyways, it was going to
But
be
the,
late
yeah,
regardless. Let's
It
be
was going to be
honest.
exactly.
late
No,
regardless.
no
Yeah.
matter who he was going to, it was going to be late. And listen, the 2026 draft is deeper than other drafts. So, I mean, as many first rounds you can get that in that year is good for you.
So I haven't done my deep dive fully into the 2026 draft. I've just been too busy. But usually around this time of the year, I do start looking into it a lot more. I think you're right, Vince. I think that like last year, there was maybe the first 15 picks were like pretty decent prospects,
Hmm.
but nobody that was to the caliber of well, I don't even remember the entire draft. It's Celebrini, right?
No, Schaefer last year.
Schaefer's, yes, that's right. So last year there was about 10 to 15 guys I think that had a really high upside.
Mm.
Schaefer we weren't even sure on because he hadn't played that much
Yeah,
the year before, so you didn't even know. Uh, this year I think there's more like 25 guys that are cannot miss prospects. So it's a good year to have really good depth in your picks.
yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't tallied up the points yet from our World Juniors tournament, but that'll come probably next episode. We'll divulge the winner. I just want to add, Vince, before you carry on, from a fantasy perspective, I'm not sure what this means for Rasmus Anderson. I mean, he was pacing for 51 points, which would have tied his career best. And now he's going to a team where he's not going to be on power play one, most likely. I mean, sometimes they play five forwards, and when they don't, Theodore is usually the guy. So I'm curious to see how this impacts his stats going forward. He's
Hmm.
probably going to get more 5-on-5 points just naturally because he's on a better team. But I'm curious to see if there's a little regression in terms of points for Rasmus Anderson now with Vegas.
Bing, Junior, push your head more to the left. You're getting cut on the right side. There's a, you see the odd man rush. All right.
That's the mistake we did last time. We did Super Mario.
So the second thing that actually happened while Ottawa was playing Montreal, Jake Sanderson's comments after the Habs game. Does he want out? I think it's a little drastic. Games feel like away. Goalies need to make more than. I I think his biggest remark was this. It was that he was asked about the game, and he says, "We didn't play well, but we need more than 10 saves from our goalie to help. I mean, their goalie was their goaltending situation is atrocious right now. I think against the Habs, the goalie, what was his name?
Merlinen.
Marilyn. I think he had a .625 save percentage, which makes no sense. But the good news is Allmark was back with the team, skating with the team. So, Nick, do you take this as a warning signal from Jake Sanderson saying, "Listen, if you guys don't shape up, I do one out," or is this just a frustrated player that got 6 points in a game and still lost?
I mean, I think it's just a frustrated player. Um, by the way, Anderson was 50% retained to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Um, Key factor there, but yeah. So I actually see it more of a just. I think it's a leadership problem, to be honest with you, in Ottawa. Um, like when I when I look at the leadership in
Yeah, the
Ottawa,
beep beep. Yeah, my wife doesn't realize I'm doing a podcast, so she decides to measure the temperature of the chicken she's cooking to make sure it's cooked.
It's the air fryer.
Yeah.
um, like I look at the Ottawa Senators, and how do you make a comment like that about your goalie? I mean, sure, the goalie needs to play better, but uh,
And she's not stopping. That's the worst part. She's even going to get a plate for some reason. I don't know. I don't know if she's making herself a chicken salad, what she's doing, but apparently
Guys,
9:30 is the time to
the
cook.
studio's gonna be ready hopefully soon, okay?
Oh God,
the studio
can't
needs to be
wait.
ready soon
Soon.
because Tanya invading the podcast is becoming a real thing here.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
so sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
my train of thought is going absolutely out of the window here. Um, yeah. So, long story short is, uh, you're kind of throwing your goalie under the bus here. These aren't comments that you want to be saying if you're a member and this is a teammate of yours. If you take that comment and just counterpoint it to how the Habs, for example, talk about their struggling goalies, because they also have struggling goalies. You know, you're hearing Suzuki talk about Montembeau and talk about Dobesh, saying, "Look, these guys put a lot of work into their craft. They're going through a rough patch right now, but we believe in them." Right? Like that's one cameo, one team, and how they're talking about their players, and then you have Jake Sanderson saying, "Well, we need more than 10 saves." You know, he made some big saves, but we need more than 10. It's like there's a leadership issue. I think
So
with Ottawa.
I just feel like last year in the 12 games he played at 199 goals against average and a 926 save percentage, he had nothing to say, Jake Sanderson. So now that he's struggling, first of all, who are you? You're not even a leader on this team. You haven't earned crap yet in this league. So who are you to judge a young goalie on while he's going through a slump? While the whole team is going through a slump. I get it. He's doing what he has to do, Jake Sanderson. He's
Mhm.
producing. He's doing what he has to do. But it's not up to you to make comments like that. For me, the fact that he said that publicly and then at the same time, just moments later, his leader Kachuk stood up for his goalie. Stutzla stood up for his goalie. So why is Jake Sanderson not on the same page as these guys? That's weird.
Because he's
Then you want to
because
make.
he's because he's a defenseman, and everything gets blamed on him when goals go in. It's
I mean,
different.
he's
Stuso and
pacing
Brady
for 60
Kachuk.
points. No one's blaming Jake Sanderson. You know. Then you
I
start complaining. Then you start going at the fans. Ah, it's like an away game. Most of our games are away games, and even when we're playing at home, it's like, well, what are you saying? I get it. You're frustrated, but I don't know, man. This guy, to me, it sounds like he's not happy right now where he is.
why he's not gonna want out, and Ottawa will not trade him because he signed to a long extension at a nice AVV. So they're not gonna get rid of him, and he's not gonna force himself out. I think it's just he's very frustrated that the beginning of the season was going very well, and that they have no solution to Almark being injured. And I think that's the biggest issue with that. So,
They signed Reimer, but I don't know how good that's gonna be.
bye. He got
He
30
could be
saves.
serviceable.
30
Reimer
saves
could
on
be serviceable.
today. He got 30 saves on 34 shots, and they lost in overtime to Detroit. So we'll
With
see.
Ottawa or Belleville?
With Ottawa, they played
Oh,
the
he played with the Senators
yeah,
today. Okay.
yeah, that's right. All right, Bing. Next, Ooh, is the IR list getting full in the NHL with big names? So Boldy's on IR. He will miss a minimum of 4 games. Draisaitl is on a brief leave of absence. It's an illness in the family. We're wishing him and his family the best. Leo Carlson on IR, 3 to 5 weeks. That hurts our Pebble League because his salary was very good to what he was producing. So, for 3 to 5 weeks, we will not see Leo Carlson on anybody's team. Robert Thomas to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So he's officially out for 2 weeks. And William Nylander re-aggravated injury that he probably never healed from because they were on a slump and needed him to play. I mean, these are all big names. I'm not going to ask you which one hurts more, which one hurts less, but which one worries you more? So is it the Nylander one because he re-aggravated the same injury? Is it Leo Carlson who's out for 3 to 5 weeks? Junior?
I think it's Nylander just because, like you said, it's a re-aggravation, and with the Olympics around the corner, odds are if he has to do something to fix it, he likely won't because he wants to play in the Olympics. I know Carlson's Olympic spot is in jeopardy now. He may or may not. So if he heals in 3 weeks, he's there. But if it's 5 weeks, he might miss it. I'm just curious to see now, like from an Anaheim Ducks perspective, McTavish and Granlund now become very appealing in as streamers for the next couple of weeks. And Granlund showed nice signs of that actually in the last game. Him and Seneca had a nice chemistry, and they got a couple of points each. So keep an eye on McTavish and Granlund. If you need fillers in the meantime, they could be good options.
Nick?
I mean, what Junior said is exactly right. My biggest fear right now is like I don't know what to do with William Nylander. Um, exactly what Junior said. He's in and out of lineups way too often. It looks like he's re-aggravating the same injury over and over again. As a fantasy manager that's relying on him and paying him $11.5 million, fantasy money, of course, I'm quite disappointed in this right now. Like I thank God I have Beckett Seneca that I could shove in there um, to replace him, but it's not the same, guys. I mean, it's
No,
really nice. Like I don't know.
no.
Um, yeah.
This is not good for Toronto either, man. They were kind of getting out of their slump. If they lose Nylander, it's going to be a tough break for them. So it's something to watch in the next few weeks. Bing! Columbus Blue Jackets fire their coach Everson. That right? All right.
Yeah, it was him, no?
Who, yeah, who came out and said
He's
that he
asking
did
how
not.
to pronounce the name.
Yeah, if I was
Uh,
pronouncing it
It's
right,
it's not Everson. It's Everson, I think. But anyways, who
Everson.
cares?
Okay, sorry. So Everson, and he came out. Not sure where, but he came out that he thought the firing was unjustified, and they hire bonus. First game with bonus. Ken Johnson Fantilli already playing more than 20 minutes a game. What's the thinking here with Columbus? Like, are they making this change because they want to make the playoffs? Are they making this change because they realize that their young players weren't developing under Everson, Nick
Everson.
Everson?
um, so I don't know, but um, I'll say it this way: every time that there's a coaching change, there's usually a bump, right? That coaching bump where all of a sudden the Columbus Blue Jacket players wake up a bit and they have a stretch of 5 to 10 games where they're going to be playing a lot better, right? So you guys could ride that if you think you know how long it's going to last. You could ride that little wave upwards. Um, however, Rick Bowness is more of a defensive coach than Everson is. So I don't know if this is actually great news necessarily for the Columbus Blue Jackets as a whole. Um, but I mean, if Fantilli is playing over 20 minutes and Kent Johnson seems to have picked it up a bit as well, maybe those guys will benefit under this new leadership. I just as a coach himself, Bonus is always been known to be a little bit more defensive than Everson.
Junior.
Yeah, the one thing he said is he's got to play his best players and he's got to see who they are. And by playing them more, Fantilli and Johnson were producing more, and because I think now it's 2 games in, and he's like, if they keep playing like that, of course I'm going to keep playing them over 20 minutes or whatever it is, you know. If you
Mm,
just look at the mashup of lines, Fantilli's now on the top line with Marchenko and Sillinger. Ken Johnson's now on the second line with Monahan and Jenner. So you know, the opportunity is there. And I don't think we've ever seen this power play unit assembled like this. Coyle, Fantilli, Ken Johnson, Marchenko, and Rorensky. So Coyle got a boost, Ken Johnson got a boost, and Fantilli now got a boost because that used to be Monahan or Jenner, if you guys remember. So look, it's looking good. Coaching change, like Nick says, always gives a boost, and it's he's giving a boost to the people who really, the players who really needed one.
Mm. Listen, they're on a 4 game winning streak, so we'll see. But they're still third last in the East, so I'm not sure this coaching changes for them to make the playoff. But we'll see how it goes.
Oh, and Merzlikins has been the starter over Greaves with bonus, something to also
Hmm.
keep an eye on. Probably
Yeah,
trade related, if you ask me, but
yeah. I think they just want to try to hike up his market so they can trade him. So we'll see. Bing. Now to the interesting news of the week. The New York Rangers have sent their fans another letter. It's not a love letter. It's not a hate letter. It's just a letter letting them know that they're going to be retooling this year and hopefully be back next year. And they have told Panarin that they will not be re-signing him. So besides Panarin right now, who are the other guys that are going to be on the block for the Rangers? Junior.
probably Trocheck.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I have a follow-up question for both of you after this.
probably Trocheck. I don't know. I mean, who else really? Are they gonna get rid of JT Miller after just getting him and naming him captain? If history tells us anything, is that they're gonna trade their captain. So maybe JT Miller. I don't think Zibanejad's gonna go anywhere. I'd say the two most likely guys, especially this year, like at this deadline, is probably Panarin and Trocheck.
Nick.
well, yeah, Panarin is going to probably be traded here. He's going to probably demand a haul, but the problem is that he has a no trade clause, so he kind of gets to dictate where he goes. Um, Trocheck, Trocheck and JT Miller are very close friends, so I'm not so sure about that. I really just hope, like New York, it's like every 5 years you guys are coming out with a letter. Um, at the end of the day, maybe just don't play bad and don't make bad decisions and when you're drafting and don't make bad decisions when you're making trades because this is all drury. So if uh, if you're going to be doing another letter in the next 5 years and you're still in the same spot, it doesn't really help. Um, the way I kind of see this is that if they're planning to build around somebody, I really hope they're building around Lafreniere as part of their core guys that they're talking about because he does mention that he wants to build around a few guys and become younger. Uh, to me, Lafreniere is that. Gabe Perreault is that. Panarin clearly not. Trocheck getting older. JT Miller getting older. Not Charlie Coyle. Cooley
Mhm.
maybe is a player that they start building around a little bit more. Like that's the young guys. You don't have much else, to be honest with you. So, and obviously Fox, right? If you're looking at defense, and Shesterkin is signed until the end of time. So,
Nick, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how you did that, but for the first 3 minutes that you were talking, your lips were not moving. It
yeah,
was
Yeah, no,
it's
actually
a
he was
beautiful.
it's a
frozen.
ventriloquist side of me, right?
It's amazing. It's amazing. That would be great for kids' birthdays, let me tell you. Okay, my
Partial
Yeah,
follow-up.
Breakaway's got talent.
S-
my
bubbles are
my
good for kids' birthdays too.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God, she was amazing. But that's another story for another day.
She
Um,
was good with her hands, right?
yeah. So my follow-up question to this is: We know Panarin is on his way out. Where do you guys believe his best destination is, Nick?
Guy, Vegas is going to do it again. Personally, I think Detroit. I think Detroit would be great. Uh, to Detroit has the assets to move.
Hmm.
They also have a friend of his in Patrick Kane. Um, and it would be cool to see Patrick Kane, DeBrincat, and Panarin all on the same team at the same time. I think that would be pretty cool.
Junior?
Yeah, Detroit was probably gonna be my pick, but just to be a little different here, um, hmm, I think the Carolina Hurricanes will make a big push for him. I think the center they want is not gonna be available, so rather than forcing a trade for a center, they might use the many assets they have and go get Panarin.
Rantanen 2.0, maybe. We will see.
And then they'll trade him to
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah. Hey, Montreal's looking for a top six winger. Why not Montreal? We have assets. We will see. This week again, I mean, hat tricks over hat tricks over hat tricks. Imagine Tage Thompson, Ehlers, and Riley all with hat tricks. Which one was the most impressive hat trick, Junior?
I'm gonna go with O'Reilly just because we're not used to him scoring goals. We're used to him dishing out the puck and getting assist after assist. So that was nice to see. On top of that, it was against the Colorado Avalanche, so who have the best goalie tandem in the league. So
His
that
old
was the
team.
most impressive to me. That's an interesting trade candidate, maybe if Nashville doesn't. I mean, now they're creeping up because they're on a winning streak, but if they're not quite in the playoff picture, that could be an interesting trade target.
Nick?
Yeah, I agree. Not much
I
else to
agree.
really talk about.
All right. Listen. The next thing was the streaks is over. The streaks are over. St. Louis breaks Tampa's 11-game winning streak. I mean, it's an impressive streak, but it's not something that we need to get into details about. And the Predators hand the Avalanche their first regulation loss, which that was pretty impressive after what is 44 games that they played. You sure it's the first regulation loss, Junior?
At home,
Oh, at home. Nah, you did right at home. So I mean, that's a pretty impressive streak. But like, so Nashville hands Avalanche their first regulation loss at home. Roman Yossi 10 points in the last 4 games. Are we seeing Roman Yossi back to being a top 10 defenseman now that Nashville seems to have gotten all their pieces on the chessboard and at the right place? Nick?
Well, I mean, I think the fear with Yossi wasn't that he's not going to be a talented player this year. I think he was faded a little bit because of the news and information that was coming out about his. I don't. I want to use the right word. Disease, or was it a? I
Um,
think Junior mentioned it on the podcast several times, and I keep forgetting what it's actually called. Um, but Yossi had some medical concerns. Let's just put it that way. Some health concerns at the beginning of this year, and it wasn't even sure if he was going to play. So
diagnosed with sorry, Nick, diagnosed with postural tachycardia syndrome (POTS).
pots.
you are
Yeah,
POTS. That's right. And that could be there's varying degrees of that, and it could actually limit his career. So
yeah.
a lot of the people that faded him because of that news coming out for fantasy purposes rather than his skill disappearing or because his team isn't as good as it used to be. So for me, it doesn't change anything unless they come out and say, Potts is behind him. It's not something that he has to deal with anymore, or he's learned to manage it, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. I think it's still very risky to trade for this player. Um, from a fantasy perspective, again, whether he's a top 10 defender, I think he's proven that he is that talented. That doesn't change my opinion there.
Junior?
Yeah, and add that to the fact that he's almost 36 years old. He's gonna keep getting faded year in and year out. It all depends where the opportunity is. At what point is he available for you to draft, and you say, you know what, it's worth the risk. I don't think
Hmm.
it's someone that's gonna ever be drafted, as the second tier right after the Makars and Quinn Hugheses of the world, and Werenskis of the world. I think he falls back down to a couple of tiers, which could be someone's league winner in the end. We'll see. But now he's turning it around. If he keeps this pace for the second half, there's some fantasy GMs out there like me who are going to be very, very happy.
Bing. So sticking with defensemen, the Dallas Stars have seemed to be cooling down a bit. Is it worrisome for you guys? Harley is on pace for only 35 points. Now we have to remember that Harley was also injured at some point, and Hiskinen is on pace for 63 points, but none of them have points in their last 5 games. Nick, is this something to worry about with Dallas, or is just this the process of a team that was really hot and at some point had to cool down?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're just coming back to the mean, right? They were maybe a little bit too high. And I feel the same way about Colorado, by the way. I think Colorado's the next one to maybe slow down a little bit now that we're getting to the or we've passed the midway point of the season. Um, it's normal for these teams to kind of um, let let the gas off the pedal, let the pedal off the
Mhm.
gas
Oh,
a little
look
bit
at the
here or there.
person
Uh,
who's mixing up his little things, huh?
take your foot off the
The
gas a
foot.
little bit.
There
There
we
we
go.
So
go.
because they're taking the foot off the gas just a slightly bit, the NHL is still one of the most competitive leagues in the world.
Mhm.
Teams will find a way to beat you and bring their A game against you. So I feel it's normal. And then you have other teams that maybe didn't have their foot on the gas from the beginning of the season, like Toronto, who are now starting to bring it up. Right. So it goes both ways, and there's still plenty of time left.
Junior?
Yeah, well, if someone sold high on Iskinen, that would have been that would have looked good. Even though I think you could probably turn things around. I'm just curious what your opinion is on Harley. Like, do you guys buy low on this guy? Because at this point, I'm sure he's available at a lower cost. What do we make of Thomas Harley going forward in fantasy world?
Bah, if I had him, I hold on to him because you won't get his right value because of this season.
If
But you
somebody's
think,
selling him because they're frustrated, then yes, I would absolutely buy low.
okay,
Yeah,
so you guys
exactly.
still think that Harley is a prominent fantasy hockey defenseman going
Yeah,
forward?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Bing. Speaking about Toronto, Nicholas, Marner 1, Leafs 0. The Vegas Knights win 6-5 in Marner's first game versus his former team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I mean, this is where I find the NHL laid such a goose egg. Is part two of this meeting will be on Friday in Toronto instead of a Saturday. How do you do such a boneheaded call for the NHL? Like it makes no sense. Your ratings would have been off the roof if they were going to be playing on a Saturday night, Marner Toronto against in Toronto. I mean, I think the NHL just
I don't think you could
didn't.
make your schedule around one player because he got traded.
No, but
I
you
think
make it
that's
around ratings. You tell me your ratings weren't going to go like through the roof because a
Oh,
Saturday night.
you try
but
getting 82 freaking games
Oh, Nicholas, stop!
with
You
all
look
the
at.
concerts and all the
Oh,
other stuff that are going on
okay.
in those
So
arenas.
watch this.
okay, so
Watch this.
the
You
the
go,
the
Junior. I'll.
Leafs are not playing Saturday night, so there's probably a commitment at the arena. But Elliot Friedman did say that that's going to be national broadcast, which means it's available through all of Canada, no blackouts. So at least they did that. But on a Friday night, who's available at 7 p.m. on a Friday night?
I am.
They, and then you
I
gotta
have
pay
no
attention.
life.
You gotta make sure. Okay, Vegas is doing a road trip at this time, and they're coming east at this time. So I get it. Like it's not a just okay. Maple Leafs Marner's coming to Toronto. Let's put him on a Saturday night. It's a lot more complex than that. But credit to Marner, he gets actually credit to his team, who came out of the gates very flat. I think they were down a couple of goals a couple of times, and they came all the way back to win 6-5 in overtime. Marner got a couple of points, 1 or 2 points. Happy for him. I
Did
think
you
he's gonna
see?
get booed so bad in Toronto. It's gonna be really loud, and he's gonna get booed
They were
even
booing
even
him
while
in
they
Vegas.
yeah, even while they show him on the jumbotron or they show like a video of him of everything he's done. I think he's gonna get booed. Like
The
Yeah,
Rogers Center has absolutely nothing on Saturday because the Leafs play on Sunday. So your crock of shit that the Deja did not put them on the Saturday is stupid. That's all I'm saying.
um, shut up, Vince.
It's just
You're so.
no, but
It's
because you know what the story is around
schedules
it,
do
right?
not.
No. Do you
Schedules
know
do
what the
not get
story?
created that
Do
way.
you know? Do you know what the story around this is? Is that the Vegas Golden Knights went to the NHL and says we don't want to play on a Saturday night in Toronto. That's what the story is.
Okay, but who
well, then
cares?
that's Vegas's fault. It's not
Yeah,
Toronto's fault
but no, it's the NHL for making. No, let's not ponder on this. I
for
just think
getting
it's
on their knees
stupid.
for Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
All I'm saying is that Chicago Bears and LA Rams are 17-17 in
In
OT right
overtime.
now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did they both each get a possession or no?
I don't know. I'm not following because I'm doing the podcast, but I just saw the score
All
by
right. Well,
chance.
bing.
So who's winning the game? Toronto, Vegas on Friday.
If Nylander is not playing, it's Vegas. Well,
Sure.
Okay.
Rams will win the game.
There's 4 minutes left in that football game, by the way. So
Yeah,
they
but
Pretty
must have
Rams
each
fast.
have.
had up.
Yeah, that means they each have possession. Rams are in field goal range. So yeah. Okay. Ping. The Florida Panthers right now are sitting 4 points out of the last wild card position, with the same amount of games as the Buffalo Sabres. Marsha and Kachuk are skating with the team, and the return is very close.
Yeah, because I think
If
they're joining the team for the road trip.
yeah, exactly. So is this going to be the turnaround for the Florida Panthers to boost them up the ranking, the standings, and put them in a solidified playoff spot? Junior,
I don't know. I don't know if Matthew Kachuk has that kind of power on his own. I mean, Marshall's been there more or less the whole year. He's missed a couple of games now, but right now they're going through a pretty terrible cold streak. Other than Carter Verhage and Anton Lundell, all their guys are on a cold streak. So it's a good time. It'll give everybody a boost, a morale boost, and an energy boost at this point in the season where everybody's tired. The games are so condensed. A lot of guys are looking forward to the Olympics. So anytime you can get a moral boost like this at this time, it's probably a good thing for sure.
Yeah, I mean, fantasy
Nick.
wise, Matthew Kachuk coming back is going to be huge for some of these players that are struggling right now. Marchand's been did the best that he could up to now, which is absolutely all you could ever ask for. But Kachuk is at a higher level now. I think he's also part of the U.S. Olympic team, so he'll get his skating legs back in short order, which should help the rest of his line mates and Lundell maybe even more. Like I think that
uh,
it helps them a lot.
I think the team is gonna benefit from the return. That's for sure. So it'll be
Getting
something
healthy
to keep
bodies
an
back,
eye
right?
on. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So we'll see.
Talking about arenas, by the way, did you guys watch the home game, Ottawa versus Montreal, in Ottawa?
No,
Uh, so
why?
Cole Caulfield scores the OT winner, and all you see is a sea of red, and it's all Habs fans standing up and cheering in Ottawa. It was insane.
It's always like that though in Ottawa. The tickets are
Yeah,
cheaper and
exactly. But Montreal fans also travel very well. So and
yeah,
Ottawa needs to fix their arena problem by actually building an arena that's closer to Ottawa and not where they have it right now, which is a, a good drive to get to. So hopefully I'm rooting for Ottawa. I hope they get the permit to get their arena in downtown Ottawa, so they can have better fan base. But so final. thing in the odd man rush. I mean, we spoke about Vancouver. We spoke about how the GM came out and said they are going through a rebuild. Uh, the one problem here is which players are going and which players are staying. So I'm just gonna tell you the Vancouver situation right now. They have Elias Pettersson, who's 27 years old. He's signed for another one, two, three, four, another 5 years, and he's got a completely no movement clause. Brock Besser, he signed for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years also, no movement clause. Jake DeBrusk, he signed for 5 years. He's got the no movement clause for 2 years and a modified movement no trade clause the other 3 years.
Then
Evander
7 years
Kane,
for Patterson and Besser.
sorry,
They have 7 years, including this one, Besser and Patterson.
they have until 29, no, 5 years, 2029 to 2030 on Puckpedia. Oh, 32.
Then
Yes, you're right. 32, 32,
yeah,
31. Evander Kane has 1 year left. He has a modified no move clause. Connor Garland has can be traded to whoever he wants this year, but next year his no movement clause kicks in. I mean, like who's and well, we all heard about Kiefer Sherwood. Philip Hornick has a no movement clause. Marcus Patterson has a no movement. I mean, everybody has a no movement clause. Like, how are they going to go through this rebuild?
They were handing them out like candy.
Yeah, but how do you go through a rebuild when the player can handcuff you and just say, I want to go to this team.
Well, hopefully
well,
the
the
player
no
hates
movement
losing.
clause, yeah, but the no movement clause is just they can't be sent down. So I don't think it has anything to do with trade.
You sure? No, here it says cannot be traded, sent to minors, or waived without player approval.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. If you see and if you go to Puckpedia and
First
you
of
see
all,
an anchor,
even if Elias Pettersson didn't have the no movement clause, nobody would take the salary.
oh yeah, Carolina. There's talks that
They
Carolina
were
is ready.
talking about it, yeah, but
No, no,
freak,
there's
it's
talks.
eleven point four.
The
What is
problem
it?
is
11?
6.
the problem is
11.6?
do you know who Carolina is sending back?
Kotkaniemi?
Yeah,
Kakanyemi and who else?
and plus, but still, like I mean, Brock Besser has already said he's not moving. No, it doesn't care if the Vancouver is going through a rebuild or not. Right now, he's staying in Vancouver. He signed a long
Well, he
term
just
contract.
signed it. He
Yeah,
just signed
he's
it.
staying in Vancouver. Jake DeBrusk, I mean, if for his own interest, I believe he should just say trade me to whoever the hell you want because he's being scratched and not played.
The
So
Rams won,
not
by the way.
sure. Yeah, yeah, we feel. So it'll be very interesting. But do you think any of these players are getting moved at the trade deadline?
Evander Kane's getting traded. He's
Mhm.
on the last year of his contract, so he'll get traded. I think Connor Garland is gonna have a lot of interest. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on that. His new contract kicks in next year, so he's making 4.95 now. He's going up to 6, so that's a
With
big
a
contract because it's a 6 year contract he signed at 6 million.
with a no
He's
movement clause.
oh sorry on I don't see it here that no movement. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a couple of pending UFAs. They're probably going to be the ones that are going to get traded. In terms of big names, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be that much movement.
Nick, what's your thoughts?
Pretty much what we said.
Well, and Thatch and also Thatcher Demko, who might be done for the season. His $8.5 million contract starts next year, and there's also no movement clause on his thing. So we're just handing them out like Halloween, the candy on Halloween. It's beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our Odd Man Rush, sponsored by Sportira. I hope you enjoyed it. Before we get into
Oh my
the
God, they're still paying for Ekman Larson.
yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah. So before we get into the
Fuck.
PBLL, just a quick word from our sponsors. The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbooks, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbooks is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bets win. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resorts in Kansas, pass-through of per-week wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Voided Ontario and Quebec. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus badge, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. PBL. That's all
Listener
I know.
League.
There you go, Nick. Come on, you got it.
That
But
Nick affectionately calls Pebble.
but
But
nobody
nobody
likes it.
likes it.
So he
Oh
did
man.
Pebble anyways. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PBLL update. We're gonna take a look at the schedule upcoming for this fantasy period or this fantasy week. For those of you in PBLL, let's talk about Bo Knows, because Bo Knows ended up being first place during the last week's period from January 12th to January 18th. And he did it on the backs of Connor McDavid, who put up a great amount of points. And we called it, right? I mean, this team had 5 games last week, so people were supposed to go heavy on them. Well, Bonos didn't. He just went Connor McDavid and Ryan Nugent Hopkins, and that's it. He also put in Tage Thompson, who had a phenomenal week. Josh Doan, Drake Batherson, Ivan Demidov, Lane Hudson, Darren Radish, and Akira Schmid. So, quite a good week for Bo Knows. Congratulations, Junior. You were actually second place for this last week with your Junior 2 team. Can you explain to us what you did to get good all of a sudden?
Well, I got McDavid. McDavid playing 5 games, and I paired him with Hyman. Hyman got 31 points last week, so that was huge. I also took Connor Ingram as a goalie. So he had 1 win, only 2 goals against, and 65 saves throughout the week. It was unfortunate because Diary came back, or else he would have had more starts. And that's it. I had Darren Radish, Lane Hudson, Nikita Kucherov, Josh Doan. Everyone had the usual suspects. Where I went wrong is I took Connor Bedard because he was coming back from injury, but then he got sick, so he also missed the game. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, David Hockey finished third during the period. He also had McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Doan, Demidov, Lane Hudson, so Darren Radish. A lot of people had similar players that finished in the top of this week's standings. Uh, Moving on for the upcoming week. Well, let's call a spade here. There's quite a few teams that are playing 4 times this week that you need to know about. So, first things first, the week starts January 19th. We have Anaheim, Buffalo, Calgary, Chicago, Colorado, Florida, Minnesota, New Jersey, Ottawa, Pittsburgh, Seattle, Toronto, Vancouver, Vegas, Capitals, and Winnipeg. um, I mentioned a lot. There are 2 teams that only play twice. So the Utah Mammoth and the LA Kings only played twice this week, so you might want to fade those players when you're making your PBLL lineup. If we're looking at the strength of schedule, well, to me, if I'm reading this correctly, which most of the time I'm not, um, strength of schedule is showing me that the New Jersey Devils have the easiest schedule this week. They're playing Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, and Seattle. And it's Pittsburgh is pretty much tied with them and Anaheim. So that's the three easiest schedules that you have coming up. Guys, any strategies that you're going to be using for this week coming up, or let me start with Vince. Like, what does your team look like right now?
The thing is, there's a lot of teams that are playing 4 games that have an okay schedule. There's not I think it's the first week where there's not a team that just pops out of this is the easiest schedule, and these are the players you should be hitting. So, and because there's so many teams that are playing 4 games, you can kind of vary the teams or players to see. I went. Is this my alien invasion? Yeah. So I hit. I went heavy on the Vegas Knights. On for my team, I just think Vegas is playing Philly, Boston, Toronto, and Ottawa. So I mean, the only team maybe that's a little scary might be Toronto, but even then, they scored 6 goals against them. So I went heavy on the Vegas players, Aiko, Marner, Dorofeyev, and then I just added some ELC contracts here and there of players who are playing 4 games.
Yeah, according to Daily Faceoff, Vegas has the 10th easiest schedule out of all those teams. So
Mm. It'll be an interesting week. This week will be an interesting week because there's a lot more options you have. Like last week, we all knew hit Edmonton. They were playing 5 games. So most people had McDavid.
Junior.
And some people probably took McDavid and Draisaitl, which hurt them.
I did.
Uh, so for me this week, I like Colorado's schedule. So for my junior two team, I took Nathan McKinnon and Kel McCarr. And I also like Minnesota, so I took Quinn Hughes. I really went with like two stud defensemen and a superstar elite player, and then filled the rest up with entry level contracts. But I did. Nazar is coming back, so I did pair him with Bedard. And as for the other team, like the other things that I like in terms of schedule, I spoke about Minnesota, so I have Kaprasov here. I like Tampa Bay's schedule, but more importantly, I like Ilya Sorokin this week as a goalie. They only played 3 times, but none of them are back to back, and they play the likes of the Vancouver Canucks, the Seattle Kraken, and the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, well, guys, we spoke about a few players already here, but I want to maybe highlight a couple of players that I'm gonna be targeting this week. So we already mentioned Bedard, right? Um, I also wanted to mention Jonathan Taves, who's on a little bit of a hot streak here. He's moved up to the second line. Thank you, Junior, for letting me know.
Mhm.
And he has 5 points in his last 5 games, and he's only $2 million. So I put him and Bedard as my centers for my Hades team. Um, I then focused on some Colorado players like Nekash and Nishushin. Um, I also like some players um, like Haiti, like Darren Radish and Hudson, who seems to be owned by pretty much everybody that was in the top three last week. And I put Joey Decord as my goalie. We'll see. I mean, I kind of like how this week is setting up for me, but I'll probably finish 20th again. So,
So, Nick and Juju, right? Like here, I'm looking at this trying to schedule. You have Vancouver, Seattle, and Calgary. They all have the fourth, fifth, and sixth strength of schedule. So easiest schedule. Are you even attempting to dress any players from any of these 3 teams?
Sorry, say that again.
Vancouver, Seattle, and Calgary. They all have the fourth, fifth, and sixth easiest schedule.
Well, I went with the cord as my goalie.
As your goalie, yeah, that's it. But would you trust any players from those three teams on your team right now?
I think
The
so.
pr
I think you can't not.
the problem with Seattle is like on any given week, it could be any given player that goes off. You know, like
Mm.
McCann had a good week last week and Beniers. This week, for all we know, it's going to be Eberle and Stevenson. You know, or but I think Dunn would be a nice pick from Seattle actually on defense. Montour is back, so one of those two guys would be good. For Vancouver, man, that's a team I would just stay away from. Because you know the thing with Vancouver is who do you want to go get, right? You're thinking of Elias Pettersson, fine, but at 11.6 million, wouldn't you
Exactly.
want a Kucherov maybe at 9 million or a Kaprasov at 9 million or a McKinnon for that extra million more? You go get a McKinnon at 12.5, you know. So
I should
that's the
also
problem with Vancouver.
just public service announcement here. I think very important for you guys to realize if you're listening to this episode on Monday, I hope you're listening to it early because there are afternoon games tomorrow.
Hmm.
Please set your lineups for PBLL as early as humanly possible because
We will
once again,
we will send a message
um,
in the
yeah,
groups.
we should send it out as much as possible so
Yeah.
people are aware.
And for Calgary, who's taking Anderson's place now? Do you think this is a door saying, "Perek, here you go, develop right now in the NHL," or is this just Uyghur taking over those minutes?
Well, I mean, I hope Perek gets a chance because Calgary's going nowhere anyways.
I know,
Just
but they got
let
they
the
did
kid
get a
play.
they did get an NHL defenseman back in White Cloud.
White Cloud, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's
I don't, I
it's gonna
think
be
I think Perek still needs has some work to do. I don't think he's ready for the NHL just yet.
yeah,
I don't
it'll
think
be
it's better.
interesting.
I think it's better for him to go to the AHL and just dominate there for the rest of the year. Next season we see, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
All right, boys and girls, that is
Do
it.
we have a dad joke that we could do?
Oh man, guys, the dad jokes.
So while
Last
Vince
time
is wasting
I
time to
got
try to find the
insulted.
dad.
I got insulted with my dad jokes last time. Nick didn't wasn't too fond of them.
Okay, so since Vince is trying to kill time while he's looking up his dad joke,
I
um,
am.
Junior,
Yeah.
Uh,
um, what would you say is the biggest storyline of last week? Like for
ooh.
me, it was the New York Rangers sending out that letter. Uh, but there was also a trade that happened in Rasmus Anderson. There's also some big name players being injured, like Nylander. Like, what was the biggest storyline last week?
I think well for me and it's biased because I have a lot of stock in that team, but I think the Columbus Blue Jackets firing Evison was big, was huge.
Yeah,
And just seeing the quick repercussion of that in a positive way for players like Ken Johnson that I own, and possibly Marchenko who was doing fine with before the change anyway. But for those of you who have Fantilli and so on, so yeah, I think for me that was some pretty big news.
all right, guys. Make sure you
Like,
like and subscribe.
how do you
Hit that.
how do you what do you give a sick pig?
What? Like, what do
What
you give a
what
sick
do you
pig?
give a sick pig when a pig is sick? What do you give him? Ointment.
I feel like these are not even dad jokes. These are like bottom of the barrel jokes.
You laugh.
Guys, like,
It's been
subscribe,
better. It's been better.
share our content with other people, just not this part. And I hope you guys have a great week. And it looks like Edmonton's going to get a shutout tonight, so that's going to be interesting.
Oh
Is
man,
it
Is
Jarry
it
again?
Connor
Edmonton.
Ingram or is it
No,
Jerry
it's
again?
Ingram. Ingram.
It's Ingram.
Ingram is
Oh,
next.
I might take over the lead there. Hyman has 2 goals. I got Hyman on my team.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Look,
Hmm.
2 shots and back to back. Look at that. No more goalie problems in Edmonton.
Guys,
Till
there's
they get to
15
the
minutes left,
playoffs.
and they're playing against St. Louis, so let's calm down,
Yeah.
all
Guys,
right?
guys, we're at 59 minutes. Come on, we gotta end it before before the
All
hour
right.
mark.
All right,
Have a
outro
good night,
music, go.
peeps.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.